What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us. Today I want to discuss something that we see very often on DD15s, and it goes something like this. Say the truck comes in running just fine or has a repair that needs to be done, maybe an injector, maybe a fuel filter, fuel pump, or some engine work. In this case, we'll say we replace the fuel filter. We get the fuel filter replaced, everything's put back together. Now all of a sudden we have a no start condition. Something that happens very often. We see it across the board many times. And why does this happen? First, let's break it down and make it a little simple. Let's look at the injector as if it's a syringe. So a syringe is filled with fluid. It's filled with fluid. And when you press down on the syringe, the fluid gets pushed out. This is similar of how an injector works. What happens when you have air mixed with that fluid? The pressure is going to be erratic, the fluid's not going to be consistent, and you're going to have issues. This is just a basic breakdown on how these injectors work. Now let's figure out how does air get into the system and how that air will affect these injectors even more than just a simple breakdown here. Now let's discuss how air actually gets into the system. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, in this particular case, we're changing the fuel filter. Now the fuel filter is built here, as you can see, this is a 2-filter system before the fuel pump and the rail. This is the fuel pressure rail, common rail with all your injectors. When we're replacing the fuel filter, a lot of times what we'll see is there's a seal that's around this fuel filter cap that either doesn't seal properly or doesn't get lubricated during install. Make sure to lubricate that seal anytime you remove this filter cap, even on this small one too. If you have a 3-filter system, you may not see those as often. That's more of an older model. Everything's been updated to the 2-filter system. When you're changing these filters, if they're not sitting right, that also can introduce air into the system. What happens when that air gets in is you try to prime it out with this pump. There's a primer pump, which we see often. A lot of people say, hey, use a priming pump, use a priming pump. Detroit does not recommend using that priming pump. Anything over 500,000 miles, these priming pumps will not get you there. They might still work off and on, but you're gambling, and in some cases it will introduce air into the system. The proper way of priming this system is using the port right here that's on the filter housing. And the filter, the priming pump, which I'll share here shortly, is something that you need to use. If you're using a hand pump, that one can actually introduce air into the system. I don't recommend that. And once air gets into the system, it's really going to get trapped in there. It's really tough to get. It's really tough to get out, because if we look at the fuel pump, the fuel pump is gear driven, and it's a 2-stage pump. You have the low side that's going to be drawing fuel from your tanks into the fuel filter housing. That's what it does there. And then once it gets pulled in, it gets filtered, pushed back in, and it gets amplified. Once it's amplified, it gets pushed up here to your common rail. Your common rail, this is going to be holding about 900 bars of pressure. That's what this fuel pump's going to build it up to. But that's not it. These injectors are actually going to push that up to 2,400 bar. So the rail's going to get it at 900 bar, and the actual injectors are going to push it up to 2,400 bar, which is extreme pressure. And the reason why they do that, they built these injectors to amplify the pressure even more, so that it takes some strain off the common rail. It takes some strain off these fuel lines. Now, when you're replacing these fuel lines, you can introduce air into those as well. Any of these fuel lines can introduce air. If you have something kinked or something leaking, any of these return lines, you can introduce air into the system and have a no start condition. Now, as I just mentioned, the fuel pump is building the fuel pressure up to 900 bar. Now let's talk about how the injector actually builds that up to 2,400 bar, because that is internal. There's nothing else happening outside the injector. This is all internal, which makes it even more critical to get this air out of the system. Now let's discuss what's happening inside that injector. Before we move over to the injectors, I wanted to mention one more thing about how air can get into the system. As I mentioned earlier, the fuel pump is going to be drawing the fuel from the fuel tanks. And most of the time your fuel system is going to be two tanks, dual tanks, and they're going to be split like this. So the fuel pump is going to be drawing this fuel in, filtering it, pressurizing it. It's very important that you inspect these fuel lines all the way to the tanks. Make sure you don't have anything leaking, because if you have old fuel lines, whether if they're plastic, over time they will corrode or they will start to leak, and you can get some air into the system. So that's something that's very important that you need to check as well. Now let's discuss what actually a DD15 injector does. In simplest terms, it's almost like a floor jack. It takes a small amount of force and triples it or doubles it into a stronger force. So as I mentioned earlier, 900 bar comes in, 900 bar of pressure comes into the injector from the fuel rail. Whenever that happens, you have an internal circuit that opens up the passages so that this plunger can create more pressure by pushing it and amplifying that pressure. And what it does, it amplifies the pressure up to 2400 bar. When that pressure is amplified, here as you can see red, now you have a solenoid, another solenoid that opens the injector so that it can spray. So there's two solenoids. You have your electric connectors here and you have two solenoids. You have a solenoid that activates the pressure. Once the fuel comes in and that pressure is activated, as you can see, it opens up, it opens up and it flows in different passages inside the injector. That injector, there's a plunger on the inside that pushes it, like I mentioned, just like a floor jack. Pushes a floor jack whenever with your small amount of pressure, you're creating more pressure. That pressure is amplified here to 2400 bar. Now you have another second solenoid that opens up and injects that 2400 bar into this cylinder. Now this is why when air enters the system, these injectors stop working, because there's so many small passages and small solenoids and pins and springs and fuel nozzles that are expecting fuel, because all of this uses fuel for lubrication, just like a floor jack. So if these injectors are not getting the right amount of fuel consistently, and there's any dry passages on any of this injector, they're going to stop working. They're going to either lock up, they're going to dry up, they're going to get stuck, and they won't work properly. This is why excessive cranking is no good. This is why poor priming is no good. Fuel contamination, and all this matters with these injectors. That's why whenever you're doing a replacement, what we usually do, if we're doing an engine repair and we have to remove these injectors, if you let these injectors sit, it will dry out. And once it dries out and you try to reinstall it, you're going to get air inside of it, and they're not going to start up. They're not going to work anymore. You'll have to replace them. What we usually do when we remove these is we soak them in fuel. We'll sit them in clean fuel. Detroit doesn't say anything in the manuals about doing this, but what we've learned is it works. It keeps the injector from drying out. And once we install the injector back in, we prime it with the correct priming steps, and we get it to start back up. This is how these injectors work. You can think of them as a hydraulic jack. They're creating some pressure coming in, amplifying that pressure, and creating more pressure. But without hydraulic fluid, in this case fuel, it's not going to work right. You can have sticking injectors. So remember this the next time you work on a DD15, fuel filter replacements, or any kind of fuel system repair. If this video was helpful, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're notified next time we release another video. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any fuel system problems and what you had to do to get it fixed. And guys, if you're in the DFW area and you need your truck checked out, give us a call, 972-225-3017. We're professionals built on integrity who strive for excellence.